Hey, Spiritual Chuck here. We're we're outside an office building. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I got a few ants because I'm behind this dumpster. I had to take my jacket off, my shirt. But I think it'll be all right. They're not killing me. They're not carrying me off. We're in Fort Myers. You hear the crazy people out there running around in their souped up cars. This is kind of what I'm looking at right here. There's a star up there. I think it's Jupiter. It's upstairs office building. Yeah, so here I am. And I want to look in the dumpster, but I haven't done it. Maybe I'll do it in the morning. You never know what you find in a dumpster. It's always fun. Well, I wanted to touch on this RF radiation a little bit more. What I know about it is it essentially what we're talking about here is transhumanism. Okay, transhumanism is something that it's like there's two paths you can go by. Led Zeppelin. You can go by a technological future enlightenment. Where you join with the World Wide Web and you know it all. And you have some kind of omniscient experience through the technology. And that's essentially what they're talking about. And altering the DNA in order for somebody to do that, I guess. That's what they're talking about. But I happen to have listened to some guys like Dan Winter, who's talking about that being a dead-end trip. It's a nowhere trip. And I believe him. I think the same thing. It's like, God brought the water in not that long ago. The timelines have been changed. And this blessed water, this blessed plasma consciousness that we are, Dan Winter's got some stuff figured out about, basically, he understands. He was talking about synchronicities. And he's got it described and understood technologically speaking. I mean, not technologically, but he's an electrical engineer, but he's way more than that in terms of his studies. But he attributed synchronicity to an explainable phenomena. And I'm not sure that I really understand it or go along with him completely on it, but essentially, he's describing Thoth or Hermes as the guy that was really responsible for re-manipulating this world, and after the water came in. But I mean, there's so much wild stuff going on. But I mean, if you just take it at face value, your life's pretty wild. My life's pretty wild. It's pretty cool. Getting in touch with these synchronicities, and I really have a long ways to go in terms of purifying my consciousness and my body and things like that. I'm still walking around in this society, and I mean, this guy walked up to me today and said, Well, I bought some lunch for this lady, but she disappeared, so here, take it. And it was a couple of chicken sandwiches from McDonald's, you know. And so what do? I eat them. You know, I remember what Christ said in the Nag Hammadi. He said, if they offer you something to eat it, and then tell them the truth. And so that's what I did. You know, I ate them. And so look at me. I got plastic bags on my feet to keep the mosquitoes away. But I start sweating. I got a rain jacket on too, and I start sweating. So I just took it all off for a little bit and cooled off for a minute. Man, pretty adverse conditions sometimes, guys. Surprisingly adverse, and I don't really voice it. I don't really let you know. I don't want to harp on. And I'm really, you know, enlightened enough to let it slide. You know, it's not. I do occasionally get pissed off at circumstances and situations, like cell towers everywhere up my you know what, and stuff like that. But I'm walking down the road, and you know, I just let it out, and then it's gone, and then I'm cool, and I'll come back to my senses and my intuition and all of that. I mean, what goes up must come down, you know. If I was the same all the time, I don't know. I don't know if I'm designed to be that way, you know. But anyway, there's some serious aspects to what's happening in the world, and I know that there are still plenty of places all over the place where I can go into the woods and get zero radiation. You know, I mean, just from the cover of the plants. Of course, Elon Musk is threatening to, you know, hook up his Starlink, and that's going to give us a, you know, cell phone access everywhere in the world. And if that happens, then I guess they've won, you know, unless a bunch of people start cutting down some cell towers or something, you know. But I mean, he's talking about Starlink, so the cell towers, I guess, will be, you know, not necessary or something. But I know one thing, they're in your backyard, you know, and they're powerful. My little meter, when I put it in front of a microwave oven, it pegs it out. And when I'm standing underneath the cell tower, it's about 3/4 on my meter. So I mean, it's literally like cooking me, you know. My eyeballs start shrinking, and my knees want to start messing up if I'm not grounded. Serious stuff. Just in terms of one's own mortality, one's own organic body, you know. And it's like, sorry if it's bad news, folks, but it's the God's truth. And I think we're coming close to a opportunity here to go one or the other way. And so that's what I'm concerned about. And I'm concerned about it for myself, and also for people in general. You know, my heart goes out to humanity and the organic man, you know, woman. I feel like I've chosen my path to be organic. And I mean, I've already been organic. I know what it feels like to be in a peaceful environment. I'm old enough to know that. old enough to be, in the woods and just have a fully natural, holy experience. And I haven't had that of late. I mean, literally walking around in this stuff. I mean, 3, 4,000, 5,000, walking through this town. And finally find a place to lay my head, that's not off the charts. So I get a little bit of peace until tomorrow. And then I'll do it all over again. All right. Yeah. No good news. Not too much, anyway. But I know I found some woods. Man, I've had some places to camp that were just so wonderful. Really beautiful. And here in Florida, too. I mean, there's still some woods in Florida. But when you get into the cities, they've landscaped them and done everything to stop any obstructions from these cell towers. So the whole town is hot. And the homeless people, I walked a long way down this path tonight, and I wound up at the end of this path, and here's some homeless people had rigged up a door to this wooded area, and I'm like, wow, man, they've really literally gone all the way to making a home. I mean, it was like a home, and you've got a door, and you open the door, and here's this home of natural home. But I mean, I didn't want to go in there. I didn't want to disturb their home, so I had to keep walking. Lord have mercy. Well, anyway, 12:33 on the clock. I love you guys. Peace, love, and light.